All right, hello. Back again, another YouTube video. This time again, we're gonna go over the week and some stuff that happened. I know a lot's been happening, obviously, with just transfers, some games, very important games, very big games, as well as the Copa del Rey draw, which I do want to talk about, and then some other stuff. So we'll see what we encounter as we go on. Again, I appreciate everybody who sticks around, watches through the whole video. I just obviously like to talk about football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. But I just like to talk about it, and I just keep up with it a lot. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I just talk about it, or at least here, and decided to do this. So again, if anybody would like to check any other socials, at JV2 TikTok or Instagram, they're up. The TikTok is doing really great, which if anybody is from there, I really appreciate it. Or yeah, it's just good to see that, and I'm excited. So we'll start the video and we'll see what we can talk about. We ended last week's on the 16th, I want to believe, on Monday 16th. Yeah, so we'll start this one on Tuesday the 17th. Which again, Real Sociedad Mallorca, with Real Sociedad winning 1-0 against Mallorca in the Copa del Rey. So they advanced through to the quarterfinals, I think. And Sevilla getting a win against Alaves, which obviously good for them, as they are not very underwhelming performances in the league, but tight, very tight result that they did end up winning 1-0 with Ivan Rakitic and Jesus Nava, the two veterans for Sevilla, connecting and scoring a goal. That ended up happening in that match, and that's how they ended up winning it. Anything else this day? We saw FA Cup, the round 3. Some games that didn't get played, or the replays. Nothing too much. Birmingham City 2 against Forest Green, 2-1. So Birmingham go through. Then Bristol City as well go through, beating Swansea 2-1. Luton beating Wigan 2-1. West Bromwich beating Chesterfield 4-0. Good way to go through. And then we saw the replay of Wolves against Liverpool, which Liverpool won. Liverpool won this game. Early on, they got the goal. Harvey Elliott, assisted by Thiago. Again, both teams could benefit off of this because Liverpool is underperforming in their season. Wolves needs to pick it up. Unfortunately for them, Liverpool is the team that goes through. And yeah, that just ended up happening. More competition for Liverpool, we know that. But Liverpool are a team that seek for that success, whether it's Cup, whether it's the League, whether it's Champions League, anything like that. So, yeah, we'll just see where that leads them for the future. And then the next game that happened Tuesday was Napoli-Cremonese, Coppa Italia round of 16th, which, again, Napoli, very versatile team, very interchangeable. Obviously, they didn't go full on, hey, let's bring on the big boys, but they should have, because they ended up tying the game 2-2 against Cremonese, who again, Cremonese scored the goal, the first goal, in the 18th minute, Charles Pickle. And then after that, Napoli did pick it up. Juan Jesus getting in the score sheet. Giovanni Simeone as well. Very, very good striker, getting in the score sheet as well. A lot of changes made as they started to see Politano coming in, Anguissa coming in, Lobotka coming in. But as well, Cremonese just brought in more changes. Maybe changed the system up. Kim Min-jae and then Zielinski coming in towards the end. But then even with that fire force, Cremonese proved to be too much, as they ended up scoring a goal in the 87th minute, avoiding the loss. And after that, in the extra time added, there was a lot of yellow cards, like a lot. even a red card, which ended up coming in for Leonardo Cernicola. But Napoli couldn't capitalize off of that, and they ended up going to penalties, which again, penalties are always hit or miss. The best one that takes them, the best one that doesn't crumble under pressure, is the one that's going to ultimately win, I guess. But Matteo Politano ends up getting the first goal, but then Cremonese responds, Giovanni Simeone goal, Cremonese responds, Zielinski goal, Cremonese responds, and then Lobotka is the one that misses it. I cannot remember where the penalty went exactly. If he missed, I think the keeper saved it. If I'm not mistaken, I do not remember exactly. Cremonese then score it, capitalizing off of it. Victor Osimhen then gives some life, and then there had to be a miss on that last penalty for it to keep going. But Cremonese capitalized and ended up scoring the last goal needed for them to go through. Say what you say about it. We know Napoli this season have been amazing and whatnot, but Cremonese ultimately deserved this win as they beat them just like that. Obviously, you cannot go dictating, oh, this is Napoli's fall doing, this is where they crumble, they're gonna choke. Obviously, not their best game in terms of how the season's gone, but we shouldn't dictate a whole season or a whole tournament on this simple game. They obviously didn't go through it. Now, they can focus on the more important things, the league and Champions League. Obviously, and then this is my thing with cups. A lot of people talk about cups being boring, unnecessary, and whatnot, but cups somewhat for lower teams like Cremonese, really, really important. And still, it's nice for a team to win a cup. But Napoli ultimately go out, and now they can focus, like I said, League, Champions League, and hopefully just take advantage of that. So that's all the action that there was on Thursday in terms of what I want to talk about. Wednesday, we move to Wednesday. Copa del Rey again. Valencia beating Guillón 4-0. Cavani, Cliver, Cavani again, and then Samuelino, who, again, Samuelino has been really good. He got a goal and an assist this match, and Valencia obviously just overpowered their team that they were playing against. It was Guillón, and yeah, the clean sheet as well. They just did great to get the win. Athletic Club ends up beating Espanyol 1-0, which again, Athletic Club, impressive team, ran by Valverde. And yeah, it just ends up happening like that. Atletico Madrid winning 2-0 against Levante, which again, they go into another competition for Copa del Rey, which is good, exciting, big teams there. So, really good games, I guess you could just say. And then, shocker on this one, as Real Betis Osasuna end up tying 2-2. And again, things just said. Carvalho scored, but then they responded, David Garcia, in the 91st minute. So, wow, okay, they really fought for it. And then again, Zavalli, assisted by Borja Iglesias in the 103rd minute. And then Ruben Garcia in the 106th minute. Again, for Osasuna, fighting spirit. And then they go to penalties. What is it? Osasuna scoring. Borja Iglesias scores. Osasuna again. Moron scores. Osasuna again. Sergio Canales misses. Quique Barja then scores. And then Guido Rodriguez misses, which ultimately gives the win to Osasuna, who again, they fought for that game. Real Betis is not an easy opponent to face, and Osasuna just fully fledged deserved the win. And then they just moved on. Just simple as that. We move on to the Supercopa Italiana, which again, and it was the final. Final games are always very exciting, especially when it's two very, very good teams. Milan-Inter, again, playing for a trophy, but also playing for bragging rights, as this is a rivalry. Obviously, Inter, Milan, and AC Milan. But again, the way Inter won, they just took the game to them and pretty much dominated in the sense of finishing. because as much possession as AC Milan had, Inter was just fast on the counters, had equally almost the same shots, but more shots on target for Inter, and they capitalized more as 3 of the 6 shots that they had on target went in. Very early on as well, Federico Di Marco, assisted by Nicolo Varela, Edin Dzeko, assisted by Alessandro Bastoni, and Lautaro Martinez, assisted by Milan Skriniar, ultimately defeat this AC Milan side. Which, again, AC Milan with that 3 in the back, with the wide fullbacks, just outclassed the Milan team. I do want to see how the Milan set up. And yeah, I mean, this was just a team that you had to put your best players in, and ultimately, Milan didn't deliver, but they pretty much got outplayed in terms of finishing. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. So, very unfortunate. Obviously, congratulations to Milan for the win. But congratulations to Inter Milan for the win, but obviously AC Milan should not be losing like that, especially in that big of a game and in a final. But I mean, I guess it happens, but hopefully it doesn't affect them and they can just still keep on running with just the league. Again, another game that was played this day was Leeds against Cardiff, who did end up tying, which Leeds completely full-fledged them in a 5-2 victory. Which again, Wilfried Ndonto, amazing player. He's probably going to be one that I keep up with, and a lot of people are going to be keeping up with, because he looks very good. Looks to be thriving on the Leeds team under Jesse March. I know Jesse March works with youngsters very well, but he just looks good. His movement, his desire to go forward, and we saw it as he scored a goal in the first minute, assisted by Rodrigo, who again, Rodrigo's been very, very good this season. Rodrigo as well got his goal, and then Nonto again, which was assisted by Jack Harrison. They just look good. They look very good. And again, they just scored. Patrick Bamford got a brace in 5 minutes, and yeah, after coming in at half. And then that is when, towards the end, Cardiff, or I guess Leeds, put the pedal off of the gas. And maybe just Cardiff, their substitutions took place. But they scored 2 goals. One in the 84th and one in the 93rd. And just, I mean, Leeds ended up winning just the game. So it was good. It was good. As I am excited. I know they're not doing the best in the Premier League, but they're an exciting team, and I do like to watch them because I think they have a lot to offer and a lot to say. In this case, they said a lot. So hopefully the next run for them can just be as exciting, and then we will see where that leads. Sorry. Manchester United, Crystal Palace, which again, Manchester United were coming off a hot form. They needed to win this game, and ultimately they just fall short. Bruno Fernandes, again, very, very good goal. He's been very reliant, very driven in these past couple of games since he came back from the World Cup. But he scores, Christian Eriksen getting the assist. And then here is where we see the first couple of minutes for Weghorst, who again, I think a target man. Obviously, he is very, very tall, and he has ability to score goals, as we saw it in the World Cup, and as we saw it for Burnley. So hopefully we just see him do good things for Manchester United. But ultimately in this game, Crystal Palace are the ones that that have to be highlighted, because Manchester United fell short. Yes, they didn't lose, but they dropped points. And this is where people were saying, oh, because United United fans, I don't know if it was United in general, but United fans were really confident that they could just take the league away from Arsenal, but they just fell short in this game with, again, Michael Olise scoring a wonder goal. I remember seeing that PSG were actually interested in Olise, who I think technically he's very, very good. He's a very good player. Obviously, in that right wing, I think that's where he would play. He's very, very good, versatile as well, and again, it's just a phenomenal goal to score, and ultimately cost his team the point. Which, what else can be said? What else can be needed? Very, very good for him. Obviously, Manchester United just fall short like that. That's the action on Wednesday. Moving to Thursday, we have Barcelona against Ceuta, which, again, Barcelona as in we, playing, obviously we have to play Lewandowski just to get in the minutes for him, because he was, I think he has one more game, but I'm not sure, suspended for La Liga for the 3 games, but I mean, we just moved with it, I guess, as we played the second team, pretty much. You can just say the second team, second set of players. And for the first couple of minutes, we did not look good. We looked poor. We looked very, very poor. But once we started picking it up with that Rafinha goal, assisted by Frank Kessie, which is really good. I'm glad that Kessie got a lot of highlights on this game, as I think he needs it. But again, Rafinha, brilliant goal, gives us that drive that we need in the second half. And again, Gavi came in, changed the game a little bit. But Pablo Torres is obviously player that should be played for these couple of matches. Get that experience, get that links with the team, start learning just stuff under Xavi, thrive off of it. And hopefully he does, and we can see that. But again, that Rafinha goal just kept us going. Frank Kessie's goal, very, very good, very influential in this game. After the second half, Robert Lewandowski gets his goal in the 50th minute. And then we see Ansu Fati as well coming in the 60th and scoring in the 70th, assisted by Jordi Alba. Then we saw Frank Kessie get his goal, which Rafinha assisted. And again, just good overall, with the last goal being Robert Lewandowski, who was assisted by Eric Garcia. So, again, I know the score can be deceiving for the very first minutes of the match, but we end up winning a very easy game against a favorable draw, I guess you could say. And yeah, we just end up going through on this match, which is good for us. Obviously, I know we won the Supercopa de España, but obviously I know we're a team that thrives for success, and this is good, but we shouldn't get our heads up, because it is not a team up to par with us in terms of ability-wise or player-wise or whatever. We could have lost this game, to be honest. We don't shy away from losing games like this, but I'm glad that we won it in that way. Again, Real Madrid-Villarreal, which the game concluded 2-3, which again, Villarreal started on the front foot, 2 goals ahead in the 45th minute. Capu scored a very, very nice goal off of the side and off of the front, a rocket of a goal. And then Chukwueze as well, just exhilarating, exciting movement, and just brilliant. He scored on the 42nd minute before the half. But I heard this from one of my friends saying that Real Madrid is a second half team, and they do happen to just come back and bring out moments like these, which they did. Vinicius Jr. scoring the 57th, assisted by Ceballos, which Ceballos apparently changed the whole game for them on this match. He was apparently very, very good. Eder Militao getting his goal in the 69th minute, and then Ceballos ultimately getting the last goal on the 86th minute. Which again, game got heated as there was a lot of yellow cards toward that 70th minute. And yeah, again, very, very good game to watch if you are into games like these. And it just ended up happening Madrid's way as they won the game in the second half. But yeah, that's what happened with them, and that's just good. Madrid go through better games with better quality teams, and that's just great. We then saw, of course, the infamous PSG against the Riot 11, and we see the last one of the last, hopefully not the last in football fan standard, but one of the last times we have seen Messi against Ronaldo face each other. Which obviously is just you just have to admire the greatness of the both. Obviously, you'll have your people that talk, oh, Messi's better, Ronaldo's better. At the end of the day, yeah, arguments are there for a reason, but if you're one of the people that just enjoyed watching them both just because you like football, then that's amazing. Again, Lionel Messi getting his goal in the 3rd minute, assisted by Neymar. Which, again, very, very good play. Neymar with a chip ball and Messi just slotting it in as he's supposed to. And then we saw Keylor Navas completely obliterate Ronaldo's face, which he still has the little scar there. And then Ronaldo does what Ronaldo does best, and that is hush people from the penalty spot. His penalty record is absolutely ridiculous, and you can always just rely on this man. He scored the penalty, he got back up, and they just kept going. Juan Bernat ended up getting a red card, which obviously gave PSG a disadvantage. But, again, it was on a break, so the red card, I guess, they needed to, which, again, with these challenges, you never know if they're going to end up scoring. Better be doing that than sorry, I guess, but it just happened. Marquinhos then ends up getting a goal with Kylian Mbappe assisting it, which again, Marquinhos playing up there, obviously very threatful, and Mbappe just slotting really, really nice ball in. And then we saw Cristiano Ronaldo as well getting a goal in the 51st minute, which Ronaldo getting 2 goals, obviously very, very happy for him as he should be. He should be just getting goals and just being happy. And hopefully he is. But yeah, he gets the 2nd goal. And then that is when halftime comes and we see subs already coming in. But then after that, Kylian Mbappe is again getting his assist. Wait, actually, I think before the half, we also had a Neymar penalty, which he missed. He didn't take it like he was supposed to, and he just shot it like down the middle on the right side, but the keeper just got it in an easy manner, and I think Neymar would have been good with the goal, obviously coming back from the World Cup as well. We just need that Neymar, that angry Neymar, that vengeful Neymar. I don't know. I think he's obviously Neymar, one of the best players in the generation or whatnot, but I don't know. Again, it was just a penalty, so it doesn't really matter. So hopefully Neymar is okay, and we just keep thriving off of it. But then again, Kylian Mbappe and with another assist, with Sergio Ramos now getting on the end of it, the other center back. Then we saw them scored, and then again they get another PSG get another penalty in the 60th minute, and Kylian Mbappe is the one that steps up this time, and he takes it. Kylian Mbappe as well. Good record on the penalty box, and just very reliable as we saw from that World Cup final. And then this is where a lot of people tuned out of the match, and I saw a statistic about it as they lost like a stupid amount of viewers because Ronaldo and Messi came out, which again was one of the reasons why they came to watch this game. But then 78th minute, Hugo Ekitike ended up scoring the goal, which obviously took them up to 5, and then 5-3 at that point. But then Talisca gets the 94th minute goal, which just makes the game a lot closer than it was, being 5-4. Again, very, very good game to watch if you're just love the sport, love watching things like this. And yeah, very good. And obviously just a happy moment for a lot of people. On this day as well, we saw more Coppa Italia games. So we saw Juventus against Monza. Juventus getting 2 goals against Monza. Moise Kean being one of them in the 8th minute, so very early on, assisted by Weston McKennie. But then Monza responding back with Mattia Valotti getting a goal. And then we saw Federico Chiesa ultimately getting the winning goal in the 78th minute, assisted by Alexandro. Again, cup game, but very good for Juventus that they need success nowadays like these. But yeah, we just see Juventus, which again, quality teams going up and just winning like that. Again, in the Coppa Italia, we see Lazio winning 1-0 against Bologna, which Felipe Anderson scored on the 33rd minute, assisted by Pedro. So again, Bologna obviously very good season with decent players. Arnautovic performing good. Serki, exciting player. Medel, Soriano, veterans. But Lazio end up just getting the win. Quality team, and yeah, that just happened with that. Atalanta winning 5-2 against Spezia, which Atalanta have been on that high scoring matches these last couple of games. Lukman scoring a goal in the 10th minute, assisted by Scalvini, and then Lukman scoring again in the 12th minute, assisted by Zapata. Spezia getting a goal back in the 14th, and then Hatborg getting a goal in the 26th, assisted again by Zapata, and then Daniele Verde on the 38th minute getting a goal, which obviously made the game 3-2, still for anybody. But then after the half, a lot of subs coming in, a lot of subs for Atlanta as well, as we see Matenderun, Toloi, the center back, Luis Muriel, Huyundund, Sortea coming in, and then again Huyundund ends up getting the goal to put them up ahead by 2 goals again, assisted by Luis Muriel in the 72nd minute, and then on the 90th, just to seal it off, Ethan Ampadu scores an own goal. So again, Atlanta, very very good team, looking forward, and they just go through. They end up going through. So that was it for the Copa Italia matches, and then the last one that we have is the Premier League game, which we saw Manchester City play against Tottenham, which again, I guess I did get carried away, because obviously with City, they're very inconsistent this season in terms of how they were last season. Obviously that's because of different playing styles and whatever, but Tottenham, first 45 and a little bit after, took charge of the game, with Kulusevski scoring a brilliant goal, Emerson getting in the back of one, and yeah, again, sloppy Manchester City, and Tottenham just taking chances off the little things. But again, City or Pep just knows how to answer it back, with that second half speech probably being very, very emotional and drilling into their minds, as we just see a completely different team come in and by the 63rd minute already have the lead. Julian Alvarez scoring the 51st, Erling Haaland again in his little goal drought getting a goal in the 53rd minute, assisted by Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez then scoring a goal in the 63rd, which ultimately gave them the advantage, assisted by Rodri. And then obviously that's when Tottenham start to panic and make their subs, but as well, just calm. Pep makes his in order to just go in and go out, and Riyad Mahrez ends up scoring the goal in the 90th minute, just to seal off the win. A lot of things can be said about this match. Obviously, you gotta feel bad for some Tottenham players, as they did think that they could just win it, but then Pep, being the best at what he does, drilling things into their mind, again, wasn't a very, very big big matches or whatever, but we saw La Liga, Mallorca winning against Celta Vigo 1-0, which I think this put Celta Vigo into the relegation and Mallorca on 10th, so very good for them. Obviously very bad for Celta Vigo, but that's how the game ended, that's how it ended up happening. And yeah, we can just hope that Celta Vigo hopefully pick it up, as they do have some certified players, I guess you could say, in that team. And hopefully they just don't go down. On this day, we also saw one Eredivisie game with Excelsior winning against Volendam 2-0. A Coupe de France match with Marseille winning 1-0 against Reims. Just sees them go through. Some more Liga MX Clausura games, and Santos beating Mazatlan 2-1. Juan Brutena getting a goal in the 36th minute, and then Mazatlan scoring in the 62nd, and then Harold Preciado on the 79th getting the goal that just puts Santos on top and just makes him get the 3 points needed. Again, a lot of people highlight Santos being a good team and whatever. They played this match, which they won, and just put them on 6 points, which just put them on 5th. So very good for them. And then the other game on this on Liga BMX being Tigres Tijuana ended up 1-1. Alexis Canelo. I don't know if people have been saying Tijuana is like a good team to play or whatever. I know Tigres is. Oh wow, Tijuana being 16th. Obviously very good for them as they get a point, but bad for Tigres. But doesn't matter as they are still first. But still, they shouldn't have lost this game, I guess. With Gignac scoring the goal in the 60th minute, but then just couldn't lead the team to a second goal, which would have sealed them off on the victory. That's what ended up happening in the league. But then again, this day Friday being when the Bundesliga finally returns as well. Again, for some exciting leagues, for others just dragging, but we just see a very, very good game started off as Bayern Munich face RB Leipzig, which, again, exciting game, both exciting teams, and you can just hope for a very good game at the end of it. We just saw a tie, though, 1-1. Choupo-Moting, again, getting back into that form that he was before the World Cup, scoring a goal in the 37th, assisted by Gnabry, and then Halstenberg getting a goal in the 52nd minute, assisted by, and I hope I don't mispronounce this, Dominik Sloboslai, who again, he's just very, very good at what he does. Obviously has a leg on him and just great at those set pieces and great at creating stuff. But ultimately they just Bayern tie game that obviously it's a struggle. They're both very good teams, very strong teams. Better result for Leipzig, but again, Munich just didn't get the result that they wanted, and they've been tying a lot this season. More shots on target for Leipzig, and obviously we know that Neuer's not here to call in the shots, but Sommer did start this game. Obviously not the best start as he would have hoped for a clean sheet, but it's okay, and hopefully they just keep going and build off of what they have with, again, Motin leading it and just scoring a needed goal. Saturday 21st, we saw La Liga matches. Real Sociedad winning 2-0 against Rayo Vallecano with Sorlot and Barrenexta, who again, Barrenexta being a very exciting young player, young winger. Very good, very versatile. And we didn't see Kubo in this match as Barrenexta was the one that started. We do see Real Sociedad third, and we do see a very dominant Real Sociedad as well, as they had 12 shots, 7 on target, and less possession than Rayo Vallecano. So just gave them the ball and countered. Very, very good. And then they just got a good result that they needed. Again, against Rayo Vallecano, who are sitting 9th. So, yeah, very good for them. Espanyol now beating Real Betis, which Real Betis from that loss that they took in Copa del Rey not being up to the being able to pick themselves up with Martin Braithwaite, my goat weight, scoring the goal in the 43rd minute. And again, very aggravated game, maybe more for Real Betis, but Braithwaite just ends up sealing the game for Espanyol and brings them up to 13th. Wow, Betis obviously dominating in the possession, and again, they had shots, so their goalkeeper, Fernandez Lorente, was definitely called upon, but definitely kept that clean sheet and earned it, as, again, Espanyol 2 shots on target, but Braithwaite just needed the 1 and just ended up scoring the goal that was needed for them to win the 3 points. Very good for them. Sevilla, which, again, this game dragged itself all the way to the almost 90th minute, which we saw Sevilla struggle to get a win against Cadiz, but ultimately ended up getting the win. A lot of changes, multiple changes for both teams. Yellow cards here and there, and even a red card being shown in the 87th minute, with a penalty being scored by Ivan Rakitic on the 89th minute, Rakitic, reliable as well, very, very good, and just scores the goal that is needed to give them the 3 points to get them out of relegation again, which now they're sitting in 15th, but again, only 2 points behind Cadiz, who are sitting in 16th. Again, very good game for Sevilla, but they just couldn't find the ball in the back of the net. They had more possession, more shots, and more shots on target. Shots being 17, on target 9, but only the one goal off of a penalty. So their goalkeeper, who I want to say is the Ledesma, just was very, very tested, but obviously the penalty is just unfortunate. They're always 50-50. And yeah, that's how we see that game end. Good for Sevilla. We see Atletico Madrid against Real Valladolid and 3-0, which again, Antoine Griezmann just pulling masterclass and just absolutely delivering for this team and carrying it on his back as Atletico Madrid keep their 4th spot, and then we just see Alvaro Morata score, assisted by Antoine Griezmann the 18th minute, Antoine Griezmann scoring in the 23rd, assisted by Nahuel Molina, and Hermoso scoring in the 28th minute. So very rapid succession goals, 3 goals in 10 minutes. Very good for them. We saw Rodrigo de Paul get minutes, Carrasco come in, and Kondogbia as well. As Memphis as well makes his debut, and Saul coming in the 75th. I did not watch this game, so I really can't say how good Memphis did. I did know that Griezmann did amazing in this game, as a lot of people were highlighting it. Again, more shots, 18 shots and 8 on target. So the goalkeeper for Valladolid definitely called upon, and Atletico Madrid definitely deserved the 3 points, at least on this game. So yeah, we just happened to move on with that game just like that, as it was, and that is some of those matches for La Liga. Which again, then we see Liverpool-Chelsea, who for me, very early game, so I didn't get to watch it. Game ended 0-0, which I did see that a goal was disallowed in the 3rd. However, if there was controversy or not, I do not know that. I did see that Modric came in on the 55th, and he looked very, very good, at least in my opinion. I did watch the highlights. He does look promising, and I don't know if people are exaggerating it or not, but Hazard-esque is the word that I've been seeing. He just got a lot of people off of their seats because the dribbling was just impeccable. The type of player he is, the type of threat that he causes, very, very good, and obviously proved it on this game. Very unfortunate that Chelsea were not able to score a goal. Or even Liverpool. But yeah, the game ends up being just tied, as we see both of them have over 10 shots and both of them over 2 on target. So keepers definitely called upon, but just nothing ended up going in the back of the net, with Gakpo yet to score his goal as well. So that's how that game ends. Then we see Leicester-Brighton, which unfortunate for Brighton and very good from Leicester to pick it back up, as Brighton, Mitoma, again, what can be said about him? He's thriving in the team. He's doing amazing. The manager's bringing it out of him, and he's just obviously a very good player to watch. Scoring the 27th minute, assisted by Stupinian, without Brighton getting a goal in the 38th minute, and then Harvey Barnes in the 63rd, which we saw the lead for Leicester 2-1, but then in the 88th minute, Ivan Ferguson getting a goal assisted by Stupinian again. Stupinian obviously filling in that gap left by Cucurella. He's been very good and very called upon. Ivan Ferguson as well, very young, and I think somebody said that he was from Ireland, Northern Ireland, or something like that. I am not sure, but very good player for the future, and just doing good overall. So you love to see that. Neither team got the win, but again, very good game to watch, as it was just tight. And then we move into Crystal Palace Newcastle. Game stale, as it was 0-0, and neither team capitalized off of it. Both very good players, both good coaches in my opinion, and obviously I know one is doing better than the other, so you can't really compare them. However, Crystal Palace held their own against a Newcastle that is sitting third, and yeah, this game just ended like that with no action and no goals. Obviously, Newcastle dominating, so Guaita definitely called upon, with them having 16 shots, 7 on target. And I mean, what can be said? Newcastle obviously amazing, but Crystal Palace just held their own, fought for that point, and got that point, which was needed. Very needed. That is what happened on those Prem games. We see Napoli winning 2-0 against Salernitana, which again, bounce back mentality from that loss earlier in the week. Victor Osimhen getting a goal and Giovanni Di Lorenzo getting a goal. Both of them coming straight off the back, and the 47-48 minute, Giovanni Di Lorenzo assisted by Anguissa, and then Victor Osimhen just ultimately getting the goal. Obviously past the Salernitana team that's been conceding like crazy. So yeah, it just ended up happening like that, and Napoli ended up getting the bounce back win that they need. And then again, we saw my team, Cruz Azul, lose yet again in the Mexican League, which they are now in 17th place. Who did better? 17 shots, 4 on target, but we're just not up to par when it came to the finishing. So hopefully we can just change something. And again, there was also Monterrey San Luis, with Monterrey ended up winning 3-1. America 2, Puebla 2 as well. And then Chivas losing to Toluca 2-1. And yeah, that just ended up happening in La Liga MX. Eredivisie again, PSV won 1-0 against Vitesse. One game got postponed. Sparta 3-0 against Cambur. NEC 3-1 against Emen. We also saw Coupe de France, a couple of games, which we saw Olympique Lyon win 3-0 against Chambéry. Lorient and SC Bastia tying 1-1, but going to penalties, which Lorient won. Angers winning 1-0 against Strasbourg. Koenigshofen, I think that's how you say it. Toulouse winning 2-0 against Ajaccio. Rodez winning 5-4 on penalties against Grace. Paris winning 4-0 against Chamalieres, not PSG, Paris. Reims winning 3-0 against Les Herbers. And then Grenoble winning 1-0 against Plannebec, which again, Coupe de France. So obviously those games are going to get shortened, and then we'll see what happens with that. Serie A, we have Hellas Verona winning 2-0 against Lecce, and Torino winning 1-0 against Fiorentina. More matches on the Bundesliga. VfL Bochum against Hertha BCS, which ended up being 3-1 to Bochum. Union Berlin winning 3-1 against Hoffenheim. Frankfurt winning 3-0 against Schalke. Stuttgart 1-1 against Mainz. And then we get two high-scoring games. Wolfsburg against SC Freiburg, who again, Freiburg are in the top 4, and Wolfsburg did very good to defeat them in a very, very comfortable fashion. Wolfsburg obviously having good, comfortable players, Casteels, Mecha, Baku, Bornau, Arnold, but completely obliterate SC Freiburg as they scored in the first minute. Patrick Wimmer, assisted by Yannick Gerthardt. Jonas Wind scoring in the 28th minute, assisted by Patrick Wimmer. Jonas Wind scoring again in the 37th, assisted by Mickey van de Veen, the center back. Yannick Gerthardt now scoring, assisted by Felix Mencha. And again, it was already 3-0 by the 45th minute. It went to 4-0 on the 56th. And then 2 goals towards the end. Riddle Baku scoring on the 80th. And Waldschmidt getting a penalty on the 94th minute and converting it. So again, very, very easy for Wolfsburg as they seal a very, very big win against SC Freiburg. Who again, SC Freiburg surprisingly up there, but still puts them in fourth and just moves Wolfsburg. I think they were still in 7th, not moved up. But yeah, another big game as well in the Bundesliga. We saw FC Köln against Werder Bremen, which Köln won 7-1. Again, just crazy high-scoring game, which moved Köln up as they were moved to 11th, and Werder Bremen moved down to 10th. Possession was kind of even, but shots on target was what made the difference, and shots dominated them by 15 to 5 shots, and 7 on target to 2 on target, which again, they converted every single shot they put on target. Scoring Linton Maina, Stefan Tiggs again, Ayaz Shiriki, Dennis Husenbasic, El Shikri again, I think, no, that was just another one, but he assisted one already. And then the last goal coming in an own goal, which of course Werder Bremen did get one back with Fulkrug scoring in the 38th, but obviously it did not end up doing anything at all. The scoreline was still more than 6 goals, more than 5, I mean. But yeah, crazy to see. Obviously, we still had some Premier League matches this day with Bournemouth tying Nottingham Forest 1-1. Nottingham Forest having a goal disallowed on the 13th minute, but then Jaden Anthony on the 28th scoring a goal assisted by Dango Autara. However, Sam Surridge gets a goal in the 83rd, again assisted by Brennan Johnson, which Brennan Johnson has just been phenomenal. He's been good. He has been stepping up like I have been saying, and this is the first game in which Chris Wood starts. Obviously, Chris Wood bought from Newcastle, and I'm not sure if he really did anything or not, but as far as how it went, I didn't watch the game, but stale as it was 1-on-1, nobody won, but favored more Bournemouth as they are 18th, gaining a point, and Nottingham Forest obviously with 21 and 13. Not a big difference in points, obviously 4 points, but that is just crazy whenever you're in that tight of a league. But not the result either of them wanted, I want to agree, but they will happily take a needed point. Then we move on to Aston Villa Southampton, which Aston Villa won 1-0. Lianco getting a yellow card, Douglas Luiz as well getting a yellow card, a goal being disallowed for Southampton in the 64th minute, and then Ollie Watkins gets his goal in the 77th. Mislav Orsic as well coming in for Southampton, which in the 84th, very, very late, but probably just to get the jitters out or something, I'm not sure. However, Aston Villa being the team that claims victory, sitting in 11th, as Southampton are sitting in 20th. Both teams 5 shots on target, but obviously the one that converted was Villa, so Martinez was definitely called upon. Game ended like that, and then the last game of Saturday being in the Premier League being West Ham Everton, which West Ham get a very, very good win. Both teams obviously being in the relegation zone. West Ham obviously get the last laugh as they are moved to 16th, and Everton remain in 19th. West Ham winning 2-0. Jared Bowen getting a brace. And yeah, just game that they needed to win, so game that he stepped up as well as the whole team just didn't concede as well, so a clean sheet, and Everton just ultimately lost a game that they They didn't need to. Obviously, you can say either or team could have capitalized off of it. In this case, it was West Ham. Everton as well. You can just make the case that they needed to win the game. However, they did not. And Everton just got the better out of them. So that is what just can happen off of that. Those were all the games for Saturday. Being Sunday, we start off with La Liga in Barcelona winning against Getafe. Stale match. We did not do anything at all. Pedri obviously getting his goal assisted by Rafinha, which is good to see. Rafinha assisting. Goal happened in the 35th minute. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the last match that Lewandowski needed to play in for his ban or whatever. We had more possession, obviously, almost same shots, and shots on target almost. Ter Stegen, very, very big again. Saves us. He saves us from getting all 3 points. He had a very crucial save on the one-on-one. I know that Pedri was the one that scored the goal, but it was not a good performance. We should have not kept it this tight. We should have won by a bigger margin, and we just left gaps in that back line, maybe in the midfield as well, and got too comfortable, and we just ended up luckily passing this test. We're still sitting first, so that is very good, and we just move along with that. Villarreal winning 1-0 against Girona, which we saw a lot of yellow cards in the first half. A red card in the 78th minute. Gerard Moreno missed a penalty in the 93rd, but then getting another penalty in the 100th minute, and Dani Parejos converting it and getting that point for Villarreal. An important point, as they're obviously trying to stay in the top 4. Then we saw Elche Osasuna, which Osasuna obviously capitalized off of the win in the midweek. 1-1, however, it ended. And then what I thought was going to be a tight game, Athletic Club against Real Madrid. But Real Madrid bounced back and answer with Karim Benzema scoring the opening goal in the 24th minute, assisted by Marco Asensio. And then just changes to the team overall. And Toni Kroos scoring in the 90th minute to seal off Real Madrid's win. So any chance that Athletic Club had, Real Madrid stripped it off. And yeah, they just played very, very well. I think Karim Benzema scored a volley, if I'm not mistaken. But that's how the game ended, at least on that. Feyenoord played Ajax, which I did see that a lot of the fans scattered to watch the game. Stale as it ended 1-1. I'm pretty sure it was exciting for everybody, but obviously you want a result. However, that didn't happen on that match, but that's okay. Herengrieve against Groningen again, 3-1 for Herengrieve. 22-0 against Utrecht. AZ winning 3-1 against Fortuna. And then we see Liga MX games in which we sorry, little delay there, but we move into the Liga MX Clausura, which we saw Pumas early game win 4-1 against León. Querétaro and Atlas tying 3-3, and Pachuca and Juárez, which Pachuca won 4-1. Coupe de France games, again, we'll just go through the important ones. Lille 2-0 against Pau. Lens winning 3-1 against Brest, which is good. And Auxerre winning 4-0 against Niort. So, yeah, exciting games overall. Some there. Bundesliga, we saw the return of Bayern Leverkusen against Mönchengladbach. Sorry, which we saw a team that did not have summer. Started off with Omlin, kind of held their own, or in a sense, started to come back, but it was just that last goal that Bayern Leverkusen scored that sealed the win, as Mitchell Baker, sorry if I mispronounced that, however you say it, scored a goal in the 21st minute with Amine Adli scoring in the 43rd, already 2-0 up by the 45th minute. And then we move in, Nadiem Amiri scored in the 67th minute. Lorstindo coming in the 82nd, scoring a goal, and then scoring another goal in the 93rd, which again, they just fall short and couldn't get the last goal. Again, I know that Xabi, Alonso, obviously coaching the team, which let Gladbach get the possession, and Bayern Leverkusen just countering off of them. And obviously it seemed just like Gladbach had the better luck in this game, at least. 61 possession, 15 shots, 6 on target, compared to 39 possession, 13 shots, 6 on target. But obviously they were more efficient, and Leverkusen just ended up winning that game. And that way, the rest of the Bundesliga, the other Bundesliga match, was of course Borussia Dortmund 4 against Augsburg 3, which again, just a very exciting game, very, very tight. And obviously we'll talk about it. So Jude Bellingham gets the opening goal in the 29th minute, assisted by Karim Adeyemi. Augsburg respond in the 40th minute by Arne Meyer getting a goal. And then just before the half, Nico Schlotterberg gets the goal in the 42nd minute, assisted by Julian Brandt. Which then after it comes Ermedin Dimirovic to tie the game again, the 46th minute. Sebastian Haller gets brought on the 62nd. Jamie Binoa Gittens in the 70th. That was Gio Reyna, which we see him score. Jamie Binoa Gittens in the 75th minute scores, assisted by Nico Schlotterbeck. And then David Colina again in the 76th minute, who came on probably less than a minute before that and just got the goal. As well, they made some substitutions after that goal, and ultimately Gio Reyna scores a beauty and a wonder goal in the 78th minute, assisted by Jude Bellingham, which ultimately seals them on their win. I did see him throw some salt as he was doing the pie celebration, but yeah, we're just here to talk about the football. So I mean, great, Borussia Dortmund needed that win. Obviously hurt themselves in the process of it, but they just needed that win, and they got it. We saw Roma against Spezia, 2-0. Roma winning that game, and coming in, Sharawi on the 45th minute scoring the goal, assisted by, again, yours truly, Paulo Dybala. Paulo Dybala getting a second assist after the first half, with Tammy Abraham scoring the goal. And yeah, they just built off of that. Good match for them. Spezia obviously falling short, and Roma just taking advantage of it, as they had 13 shots, 3 on target, and 2 of them went in. So very good. They got the job done for that. The other game on this one being Juventus Atlanta 3-3, which obviously we saw Juventus get the point deduction, which obviously there's a lot of things to talk about it on that, which I will try and make a separate video on. But they get the point deduction, 15 points deducted for some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes with their old president and some of the management and stuff, and they get dropped. I don't remember if it was 10th or 11th, but they were in like 22 points. And they went against Atalanta, who obviously Juventus now need to go on just a crazy run to win all their games, because if not, most of these players are going to be gone, as they do have very world-class players. Lookman scoring the goal very early on again in the 4th minute, which Atlanta just put that outburst of pace in the first couple of minutes. Scoring the goal in the 4th minute, assisted by Boga. Demirbal coming in for Palomino, which hopefully he didn't get too injured, or I don't know if that's the reason why he went out, but if he did, speedy recovery, of course. Angel Di Maria scoring a penalty in the 25th minute, with Arek Milik getting a goal in the 34th, assisted by Fagioli, the midfielder. And then Joaquin Mahil getting a goal, assisted by Ademola Lookman, and then Lookman getting a goal in the 53rd, assisted by Boga again. And obviously, the goal that kept the tie was Danilo, assisted by Angel Di Maria. Substitutions on both ends, but just it did not happen for either. And yeah, it did not happen for either, and that's how that game ends. And yeah, Juventus just stale again. That is how those games go. And then we saw Udinese win 1-0 against Sampdoria. And then another game, Monza 1, Sassuolo 1, which Sassuolo need to capitalize off of it. Monza obviously being on top, but the game ends 1-1. So not luck there for them. Not too much luck there for them. And then we see Leeds Brentford, which the game ended 0-0. Both teams obviously needing the points. Leeds fall to 15th. As they could have very much done something with those 30 points. But Brentford sit tight on 8. Stale matchup, but there was a lot of shots in which Leeds took 9 shots, 5 on target, and Brentford had no shots on target, in which Leeds had most of the possession again, but Leeds just not a single shot on target. Maybe if they did put one on target, it would have gone in, but it did not happen, so we cannot talk about that. And then I want to say the last 2 games of this day being obviously Manchester City against Wolves, which, I mean, it's just inevitable at this point. Haaland getting the hat trick yet again, scoring a goal in the 40th, assisted by Kevin De Bruyne again, getting a penalty on the 50th minute, then obviously scoring it, and then in the 54th sealing the hat trick, with Riyad Mahrez assisting it, and then Julian Alvarez coming in the 61 to replace him. As he scored his hat trick, he was done, and then just changes on changes, but nothing was done. Just the game ended at that. Obviously, very, very few shots by Wolves, and only 1 on target, which probably didn't even affect the Manchester City team, and Manchester City just looked very well organized and just knew what to do, and yeah, ended the game pretty easily. The other game being sorry about that. Last game, of course, being the Arsenal against Manchester United, which I did watch. First couple of minutes, United just looked dominant. Arsenal had to ease their way into the game, which I want to say they did. They did. And we saw Marcus Rashford scoring a goal in the 17th minute with a faulty pass by, I want to believe it was Partey, but obviously Saka trying to dribble out. Just didn't happen. Rashford with a little shimmy fake, and then just powering like he knows how to that bottom left of the net and getting the goal, assisted by Bruno Fernandes, which they celebrated in style in their own little place. However, again, that Arsenal elite mentality that they have just kept on pushing, and it worked out as they got a goal in the 24th minute. Edward Nketiah scoring, assisted by Granit Xhaka. Beautiful header by Nketiah. Presence, awareness. Wan-Bissaka nowhere to be seen, and just a very, very nice goal. Composed finish as well. Putting it down to get past De Gea, and just scoring the goal ultimately. In the 45th minute, Tomiyasu came in for Ben White. He did receive a yellow card. Don't know if it was tactics. Don't know if it was just saving him from getting a red or what happened, but that ended up being the change. And in the 53rd minute, Bukayo Saka, assisted by Tomiyasu, scored just as amazing as a goal as Marcus Rashford did, and just slotted that into the bottom left past De Gea, which, I mean, very, very nice. Did not know he had that on him, and just very, very amazing strike. Just amazing to watch it. And he passed with ease through that Manchester United midfield and back line, and just slotted it ultimately just slotted that shot and did amazing. Obviously, his celebrations were wild and he just went crazy, but still left a little couple things left unanswered, as I cannot remember if it was from a set piece or what, but Lisandro Martinez ends up scoring a goal. Not just any goal, a header goal. He ends up heading the ball in a Van Persie-like header, chipping everybody and just enabling Gabriel to get it out of the way, as he was the one standing between the line. Again, Lisandro Martinez was wearing a headband, which made him look a bit awkward, but he ended up scoring the goal. Amazing, giving United that to tie that hunger mentality to keep striving and keep winning. And then Arteta shut it down whenever Trossard came in, which again, Trossard, so versatile, so good with the ball, very, very good to play, and honestly, just one of the most exciting transfers in terms of the league, in terms of what he can bring to Arsenal, in terms of the transfer market, just very, very good. He came in on the 82nd minute and did a lot. He caused chaos. He was one of the main factors into that goal, and ultimately, whether it was offside or not, we don't discuss about that. Which, if you want, you can in the comments. But if not, I'm just here to talk about what happened. Ultimately, just gets it passed, and Edward Nketiah scores a very, very nice goal, chipping it over David De Gea, and just ultimately sealing off the win that they need to get over the team that reigned against them and stopped them from being invincible until now, I suppose. But yeah, just very, very good, and Arsenal, very deserved win. Both teams obviously can take credit off of this. Both teams play very, very good football, very, very nice, fluid football. Ten Hag knows what he wants to do. Arteta knows and has the discipline in his players from what he wants to do. And it's just very, very good to see matches like these. Obviously, it keeps Arsenal in first, United in fourth. Both teams can capitalize off of it, because obviously Arsenal is the team to witness this whole season, and Manchester United are still in that building process. They do come from a tie, and they do come from those 8-1 matches, but this shouldn't be disappointing. It shouldn't be disappointing, because United fought. Maybe a different United wouldn't even have showed up, so it was good that they did. And again, it was just a good match. Arsenal more shots, as obviously Arteta wants them to just test it from out the box. But it just ends up happening like that, and we just end up seeing a very, very good game to watch. We're just going to quickly go over the games today as well. Valencia 2, Almeria 2. Games end up being like that. Inter losing a shocking way to Empoli, which again just crushes some of the chances to keep going up the higher pec and keep staying on Napoli's tail. But it just ends up being like that. Bologna Cremonese ends up 1-1. Tottenham end up winning their first game in a while against Fulham, which again, disappointing for Fulham, good for Tottenham. And PSG lose the game against Pais de Cassel 7-0. Which again, PSG just ran riot. Kylian Mbappe getting a goal, Neymar another one. Mbappe getting his hat-trick. Mbappe getting 5 goals, I think. And then Carlos Soler again, Neymar getting some assists, Soler getting involved, Pereira involved, and then even Nunes getting involved. But that's how the game ended. Those were all the games that I had to cover, at least for this week. If you tuned in till now and are watching towards the end, I really, really appreciate it. And I'm grateful that you are here. I like making these videos, just talking about football, and hopefully it doesn't get annoying for anybody. But like I said, more content definitely on the TikTok. I'm going to post actual stuff, not just clips on Instagram, to hopefully just get more content like that out there. And yeah, as for now, that is what I have to talk about. Again, I appreciate if you made it this far. Thank you. Please, if you would comment or subscribe, it or leave a like. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll obviously read anything. I just appreciate it. And if you have time for that, then again, it just lets me know that this is good. And again, if you'd like to share this to anybody, then again, really, really appreciate it. But for now, that is all I have. And yeah, I'll clock out and leave now. However, one last thing. Hopefully next week we can get an episode with my friends. Not just the daily roundup, but also talking about a couple more things. That is being set up. But for now, this is just what it is. And if you do like it, then I really, really appreciate it. So thank you and see ya.